After our encounter at the end of last episode, I thought it would be a good idea to move somewhere a little safer. So after getting situated, I made sure to say hi to our neighbours, and realised maybe this area just isn't the right fit for me. After leaving my previous home, I wandered the streets looking for someone to rob. I couldn't find anyone, so I had to settle for this hat. It's a pretty cool hat. He gave me a cool new hockey mask and a nice machete. This will be handy in the summer. Moving on from my plunder, I go to the next house along the street and silence some non-believers. After using their souls as fuel to the furnace that is my rage, I leave their house unlooted because they are worthless and find somebody else. The street's barren and the dead near. I stumble upon a storage lockup. After dealing with security, I entered and took what was rightfully mine. Everything. After securing my newfound kingdom, I got to clearing out the neighbouring towns to prevent freeloaders. In the process, I looted them for all their riches. They were not happy. I took a nap ending day 2 and waited for the retaliation. I'm going to skip most of day 3 because nothing interesting really happened and it would be boring to watch. After doing boring tasks all day, I decided to take a stroll up the street and found an old storage facility. There was plenty of grassland for crops, open front for easy views, and it was easily defendable. I thought I had the dream base. After rummaging through the crates and shelves, I'd collected the necessary materials to start a small farm. This would be necessary if I was to live in the long term. I took this as a win and headed to bed in a plastic lawn chair. The plan to start a farm was foiled by a nearby house alarm being set off and alerting the remaining citizens of my previously liberated conquest to my location. After clearing out the first 2, I thought it was safe. I was not. I killed dozens of them, but there seemed to be no end. Fearing for my life, I headed back to base and avoided every zombie I saw on the way. I passed time sitting on the floor reading books, and when I thought the time was right, I went outside and checked the current situation. There was an immediate assassination attempt. I decided to let the situation mellow out a little more. I went inside and redecorated, put 2 shelves and some gym equipment in a room, and never touched it again. Deciding to clear the final zombies outside my base, I went back outside and started chopping. After realizing I was fighting Ronnie Coleman and the Terminator, I jumped over a fence to try and hit them when they were down. But they swiped the leg and I couldn't get any substantial hits in. The other had no idea what was going on, so I put a machete where his monobrow should be. The first one took this opportunity to pounce on me. I was bitten. Currently shitting myself, I continued fighting, all the while worried about what I would see when I opened my health menu. This zombie took more shots to the face than a hooker during happy hour, and I was the one taking all the damage. It knocked me on my ass and I was ready to give up and submit to being eaten alive. Thankfully, it took longer to get up than me, and I just started stabbing. I finally managed to get it down and had half a second of relief before checking my health menu and sprinting to get meds. I had recently reorganized my stuff and wasn't sure where everything had been put. With seconds to spare, I managed to get myself patched up well enough to stop the bleeding and went straight to bed to see if I would survive the night. Thankfully, I could see my health returning to normal in front of my eyes, and I was relieved. With that comes the end of day 4 and the end of this episode. I want to thank you all for watching and encourage you to watch the episode 1 if you haven't already. Catch you in the next one.